presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And good evening, everyone. We are happy to bring you another Mid-Dell Coach Show as soon as we get the camera on here. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Okay, Coach Shaw, I want to ask you about practice, of course. This is Tuesday afternoon, so you've only had one practice since the Carl Albert game, but what is important for you to emphasize in practice? What's the message you're going to try to convey to your players?
Well, again, we got to not be our own worst enemy. So we're going to talk about taking care of the little things like we've always talked about, because little things turn into big things. You know, can't have penalties to stop drives, can't turn the ball over, you know, and then we got to work on some basics of, you know, I thought, you know, defensively the first half we played a really good game. I think we got a little tired in the third quarter, tired and our feelings hurt, and didn't play on the same plays they ran in the first half that were for nil. We didn't. So we're going to emphasize those things, fundamentals, you know, staying on blocks, making tackles, catching balls, everybody running to the ball. You know, so those are the things that we work on all the time. And, you know, but the biggest things, like I said, the last 2 weeks we've gotten an L, but we start looking at it and we've been our own worst enemy. And we've got to stop that. We talk about that. You know, we can't extend drives for the other team by making unnecessary penalties and turn the ball over. You know, we've lost the turnover battle both games so far.
So you mentioned turnover battle. You know, one play didn't win or lose the game, but I thought the muffed punt was obviously significant because you guys are playing really good defense at that point. And then that's when Carl Albert started to really run the ball. After that muffed punt, it kind of seemed like it was a psychological thing for your defense. Is that fair? Was that like a back-breaking play because your defense, after getting a stop, had to get back out there? And then from there, Carl Albert just was able to run the ball effectively. Is that a fair statement, or do you see it differently?
I mean, pretty much on to some extent. Like I said, you know, we're getting off the field with a 3 and out. You know, defensively, we always talk about 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs. Well, we know Carl Albert's a very good team. And we'd gotten to 3 and out, and it was just, you know, it's a 7-0 game in the 9 minutes left in the second quarter. So we went from sky high, getting ready to get the ball, and possibly, you know, I think it was going to be at the 48-yard line. So, you know, midfield, So, the odds on that are successful. And then we turn it over on a play that we shouldn't have been attempting to make that catch. I mean, come in sliding it. It looked like, the young man plays baseball, and it looked like I'm sliding in center field to catch a ball that's going to be dropped for a base hit. And, we can't do that, and we should be old enough and mature enough to overcome that. But like I said, it was kind of a turn of tides there. And then they were able to score with about 5 minutes later, and with 4 minutes left in the before half, they had scored to make it 14-0. Well, beating a team like that, you don't want to spot them 14 points. So it was a game changer. Shouldn't have been, but we can't do that. We need to get that ball at that time.
So, how do you feel about, or I guess, what's your specific message, as you would say, or one of your assistant coaches, to Roman Manella? What do you need to see him start doing differently, or what's the message to him?
Just relax. I mean, Roman's playing okay. He's a sophomore. We understood that. Anybody that coaches this game understands if you're playing underclassmen, a sophomore, first-year star, there's some growing pains, but I mean, if we want to talk about both games. I mean, in the first game against Piedmont, he delivered 2 balls on point for 4th downs that should have been caught for a chance to extend drive. That's not his. He can't catch them also. So, he's going to miss a few, and that's like Friday night. He delivered. I mean, I think if I'm looking at my stats, if I looked at it, there's probably 8 drop balls. Well, we need to catch those 8 drop balls, and that gives a young man more confidence. So, my deal is don't press. You're not, the game, you're not costing us the game. It's a team loss or it's a team win. So can stay the course, make better reads, deliver the ball on time, and we'll be fine.
And one more question in regards to the receivers, because you mentioned them. You mentioned the drops. How do you feel about them as far as their route running and getting separation goes from the defense?
I think the separation is there at times. Routes are getting broken off, but sometimes we're not completing them. But overall, I watch these guys in practice and I see them catch these balls, and I'm like, relax. I think they're pressing too hard to try to be, to be the winner, to be the savior, be the hero, whatever you want to call it. And I mean, because if you come out to practice today, we'll do pat and go. I mean, it's a 5-minute process, and they catch a lot of balls, and then we'll go, then we'll extend the ball. And they do a very good job. So I know they can. They have hands. They just got to relax, and, you got to catch them before you can run with it.
One thing I noticed, and one player that got better throughout the game, I thought, was Lincoln King at punter. And that's someone that could do some interesting things for you because he also plays quarterback and wide receiver. But how do you feel about him as a punter? I know you don't want to punt that much, but if you have to, how do you feel about him doing that?
Well, it gives us different avenues. I mean, the thing about it, like you said, he was our original starting punter, but he was out week 1. So he was able to punt, and like I said, it got better. The more he punted, the better he got. Like I said, I would like for him to punt less, of course. That means I'm scoring points, or turnovers. So I'd rather score points, no turnovers. And, like I said, he gives you the freedom to be able to do some things, to run fake punts or. So I like that aspect of it. And he's a tremendous athlete. He's gonna contribute a lot.
So it's a quick turnaround for you guys because we didn't know this on Friday night. We were telling everyone who was watching no game next week, and of course that changed the very next day, and then 2 days later the date of that game changed to Thursday, and the site changed as well. But take us through all that. When did you first find out you might be playing PC West this week?
Well, we got fortunate that both our ADs, Putnam City's AD and our AD, Andy Collier and Dick Balancifas, Dr. Dick Balancifas, they do a radio show together on Saturdays. And Western Heights canceled them. Evidently they were double booked because I'd noticed in the paper they were scheduled to play Hera. So they were double booked. I take it, but they just got a new coach. So Putnam City West was left without a game, and Booker T had called and canceled on us. So it made obvious since we're in the same conference and they need a game and we need a game to play. So like I said, get a call Saturday morning about 8 o'clock and the wheels start rolling, and we solidified by 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. And then, got to send out word, not bringing the kids in because we let the kids off on this Sunday. And, not bringing the kids in, had to have coaches meetings. And then you went from that on Monday morning to getting a call that says, hey, they can't play at Putnam City on Friday. Would you be willing to play at your place? Well, then there's more wheels to go into place. You got to, we was going to take the same officials that were going to the game and work that out. But, and when all said and done, we're going to play it on a Thursday at Rose Field. And it's good to go play another game to get the bad taste out of our mouth and prepare a little bit, get a little bit more prepared for Dell City next week.
Yeah, and the PC West coach says he does want this to be a home and home. Do you feel like the same way, like you'll make a return trip next year, or is
Almost definitely? Yeah. I'd much rather play him than have an open date.
Right. And you did tell me earlier, like a couple weeks ago, you didn't want to play just 9 games. And even though playing this game, obviously Dell City will be coming off a bye week, so you could be like, well, that may be an advantage for Dell City, but at the same time, I feel like I'm liking that you're playing this game because you guys are relatively healthy, so it's not like you need a bye week for that reason. You need more reps. Would you agree?
I'm right there with you. Yeah, I look forward to playing a home and home. I mean, it's hard to find games. If you look at our schedule,
when we get close to that time.
You're going to play the people like the Carl Alberts and the Dell Cities and the Piedmonts and the people that are really successful in their seasons are the ones that they're going to return phone calls to Midwest City to play. So it's usually a stacked schedule. And I've said that this is my 13th season, and I've said that continuously. Like we could very easily go into District 0-3 because everybody we play is going to be a playoff team, if not a state champion or semifinalist or whatever. So yes, it's good to play a complete schedule because I'm looking at now I got a 10-game schedule where before I was down to 9 or 8, and then picked up Dell City, and then went back down to 9. So yeah, it's been an interesting year schedule-wise. It's just been a continual fix.
Well, now you don't have to worry about next year.
I hope so.
Just a lot of road games next year. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but they're not far.
Mind.
They're not. I mean, Putnam City PC West is not that far.
Right.
Okay, I'll go. Carl Albert come to me. I'll go to Dell City. I'll go to Piedmont. So those are all within an hour drive. So that's not really a road trip. And if I go on the road, that means less AD duties.
There you go. All right, so we're all happy about this, and even though it's a Thursday game, a quick turnaround, you guys will still have your Friday nights to do whatever you had in mind a week ago. So
we'll go scout somebody. Probably try to figure out who's close and who they're playing.
Yeah, maybe look for Lawton, MacArthur, Newcastle, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I play Newcastle first, so that's what I look for first, and then like I said, try to find a game. I know Carl Alberts. I think they're playing on Thursday too.
Yeah, and then McGinnis, obviously, we'll keep an eye out for them as well, if nothing else on the scores.
Yeah, they're playing somebody new this year. That's playing a team out of Texas, I think, or Louisiana. So that's another Catholic school. So that'll be interesting.
Yes, absolutely. All right, well, those are games we look forward to later. We look forward to PC West this Thursday. We'll definitely be on the Oklahoma Sports Network. And, Coach, we're excited about that game, so I'm glad you have it on the schedule, and we really appreciate your time.
Hey, Jordan, appreciate you guys, you and Tom, what you do, and thanks for coming out, and always here to help.
And I want to thank Coach Hall for his time earlier today. And to remind you again, this is something that was very fluid. It started on Saturday. It got finalized on Monday, and that is that Midwest City is taking on Putnam City West this week in a game that was just added to the schedule. The game was added Saturday, and the time and place was changed on Monday, and the game will be this Thursday at Midwest City at Rose Field. The Bombers will take on the Putnam City West Patriots. And, of course, Tom Carpenter and myself will have that game for you right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Can't wait for that game. I think it's good for Midwest City they were able to add that game as they only had 9 games on the schedule. All right, coming up, we'll talk Dell City football. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few.
Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back.
Chicken strips. Chicken strips. Chicken strips.
Ranch.
Ranch.
Buffalo. Buffalo. Ranch. Monterey Jack cheese
The Whataburger Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich. A beautiful masterpiece.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
Call Rob and Will.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
State Representative Max Wolfley.
As a longtime Mid-Dell teacher, coach, and parent, I first ran for the legislature to ensure taxpayer dollars appropriated for education actually made it all the way to the classroom. That concern hasn't changed and seems even more important today. Thank you for giving me the privilege of serving the people of our district.
Max Wolfley, looking out for educators, seniors, veterans, and all of us. Recorded in our kitchen after midnight. Can you tell?
Whataburger now has new premium coffee. That means a brand new taste with new flavors. And it's coming in hot and iced cold. New, hot, and iced coffee from Whataburger, just like you like it. For the first time ever, Whataburger has iced coffee. So hey, get vanilla iced coffee with breakfast, caramel iced coffee with a snack, and for dinner, how about mocha iced coffee? Or just get plain. Nothing wrong with a classic. New iced coffee from Whataburger, just like you like it.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
call Rob and Will.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back.
Chicken strips. Chicken strips. Chicken strips.
Ranch, ranch, ranch.
sandwich.
Buffalo Ranch. Monterey Jack cheese.
The Whataburger Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich. A beautiful masterpiece.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
State Representative Max Wolfley.
As a longtime Mid-Delta teacher, coach, and parent, I first ran for the legislature to ensure taxpayer dollars appropriated for education actually made it all the way to the classroom. That concern hasn't changed and seems even more important today. Thank you for giving me the privilege of serving the people of our district.
Max Wolfley, looking out for educators, seniors, veterans, and all of us. Recorded in our kitchen after midnight. Can you tell?
All right, and we're back here with the Mid-Del Coach Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network here at the Bricktown Brewery in Midwest City, and also, it's, of course, brought to you by Tooney Buys Houses. And let's talk Del City football. I'm happy to be joined by a couple players who you'll see in a moment, and their defensive coordinator, Charvis Kelly. Coach Kelly, your team, smashing success last week, beating Booker T. I believe the final score was 33-0.
Correct.
Obviously, you had some things to work on after the Memorial game. What were you most pleased with as far as how you transitioned from that game to your game against Booker T?
I felt like they played with a little bit more tenacity. I think the Memorial game humbled us and allowed us to realize that nothing's going to be given to us, which we preach to them as coaches. But, you know, sometimes kids got to see it in realization before they take it to what it is. And we came out with a chip on our shoulder and understood that, you know what I'm saying, the spotlight was on us big time. Booker T came off a game where they put up 21 points against the defending 6A2 state champion. So we went in with a vendetta and let them know that, you know, nothing's going to change from last year. We're going to take care of business, and we're going to walk out of here with a W.
So from the get-go, you know, when I see a defense play well, sometimes it's just every defender's doing his job and there's nothing spectacular. And it was kind of like that for a lot of it with your team. But one guy that stood out was number 25. And I didn't totally catch his name. Was it Christian?
Christian Akadiri.
Akadiri, okay. So I think he set the tone, I think, he's the one that got a shot to the quarterback where they just didn't block him. But he hit him hard, forced a fumble, which they recovered, but for a big loss.
Correct.
And so talk about that sequence and how, you know, and he played and how that may have set the tone for your team?
I think it's big time when you get in the game like that where the pressure's on the line for both teams. And Christian's kind of like a silent assassin. He's a senior football player. He's been in the program 4 years. Just a kid that focuses on doing everything right, man. So he's one of those kids that when he makes a play like that, our returning guys has been there and coming out from last year, see that, and it just brings energy. You know what I'm saying? When you get a big play like that, and even with a recovery, but they lose 6-7 yards, it sparks the defense.
And one of the things that I noticed also, and this is on the offensive side, but you guys had 3 running backs going strong. Does that free you up to use Rickland Holmes on defense more? The fact that you can alternate 3 running backs like that, even though he's still going to use them at times?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That 3-headed monster is going to be nice all year long.
Do you kind of lobby to have Rickland out there more frequently now?
Yeah, I mean, having him out there is always a plus. I mean, he's a step away from a big play as well. So he's a force within himself, man. When he's on the field on both sides of the ball, it's a plus. So being able to have 3 backers, running backs that can always carry the load and always a step away from a big play allows things to go a lot smoother.
And some of your stops you got by just tightening up on 4th down. You got some turnover on downs in order to get the ball back throughout the game. Was there any common theme with that, with those 4th down stops?
Just bring pressure, man. We know that they line like to cut their splits down to help with their lateral movement and taking away our blitzes. But we just stuck with it. We was going to switch up where we was bringing pressure from. We manned up. They got a pretty good receiver up there, so we took the challenge on. We put Demarion Turner, 3-year starter, on him. He married him across the field, so we put our trust in him, and we knew that they would want to go to number one for a big play, and we brought pressure to cut out the run. So I know we got to get home.
Okay, and then I saw something in the first half that I don't think I've ever seen before. So I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but that is a safety on the kickoff. That's obviously a special teams success.
Correct.
But, I mean, have you ever seen anything like that? Teams returning a kickoff, and they didn't even have the ball that deep in their own territory, and then the fumble just led to the safety there.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily on the high school level. It really should have been the scuba score for us. Our guys have just a frantic moment of the game and the impact of the game. So that's one of the things. The ball just kind of rolled our way. I mean, I believe it was Demarion that came down and made the initial contact, and Javante Nikwe made the fumble concept, and then we just couldn't scoop it. But we'll take the 2 points. Would have preferred the 6, but we'll take the 2.
Yeah, you want the 6. On the other hand, it's a 2, you get the ball back. So they basically did away with their, I think it was their third possession or something like that. Correct. Yeah, they never had a third possession because of that play. So halftime, you got the shutout going. What's the message to your defense at that point?
Man, keep our foot on their throat. The game's not over. They're going to come out with some adjustments just as we're going to adjust. And our biggest thing is understand that coming out 0-0, we can't look and say we can come off the gas because we're up. We got to keep playing 2 more quarters and keep imposing our will on them so we can walk out of here with a goose egg.
I already asked about Rickland somehow. You want him on the field. He's getting D1 offers. He's only a junior.
Correct.
And it seems like that's probably the positional play at the next level would be linebacker.
Rickland's he's a generational talent, man.
Yeah.
Some plays he'd like to be a collegiate linebacker. Some plays he'd like to be a collegiate running back. So I think any school that gets him, they're going to have a flip of the coin, and linebacker coaches and running back coaches are probably going to have a good little tug of war over him.
Some days he looks like a Division I punter.
Yeah, that too. Got a good leg on him.
Yeah, he does it all. All right, and I had to be nice to finish with a shutout because sometimes in fourth quarter could become garbage time, and that's when teams finally get going on offense because they don't want to be goose-egged.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to be proud of how they held the line there because, after all, you guys got shut out against Memorial, even though you guys had some offensive success. But what did it mean to get the shutout?
Man, for the guys, it meant everything. We came into the game saying we was going to play our go-to guys majority of the game, and we didn't really rotate. We kept those guys in. We wanted their morale going into the off week, knowing that our defense came out with a goose egg. Offense had a good night out. So the guys my starters honestly told me, Coach, leave us in. So at that point you got to kind of go with the gut of the kids and let them get their morale going into the offseason as we prepare for Midwest City.
That's the nice thing about having the week off. One last defensive play. I think it was Demarion Turner had an interception on his back. He didn't have to move at all for it. It just bounced his way, and that's just kind of one of the signs that it was your night, all right?
Yeah, man, that interception, great pressure up front, and then, of course, on the back end, the ball was initially tipped by Jayshawn McAllister, and
we're going to talk to in a moment. Yeah.
Tipped him out of his hand, and they kind of tug of war over the ball, but like I said, Demarion landed on the ground and fell in his lap. So that's just kind of icing on the cake. And like I said, going into the off week and going into the end of it all, I think that's what the secondary needs to let them know, man, any play at any moment can fall in anybody's hands. They too bickered over it, about whose pick it should have been. But Demarion's one of them kids that him and Jayshawn always find a way around the ball. Sometimes it doesn't bounce the other one's way, but that's part of it.
All right, let's see. Who are we talking to? Who are these 2 players you brought with you?
We got Braylon Walker, plays wide receiver and corner for us.
Okay.
And then we got Jayshawn McAllister, 3-year starter, preseason All-State. And again, like I said, should have had the interception, but him and Demarion butted heads over it the other night.
All right, Jashawn, what was your vantage point of that interception that you played a part in?
On the interception, I just went up for the ball, and Demarion took it out my hand, and it went to him.
He took it out of your hand while he was on the ground?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a crazy play. How would you grade yourself in your game against Booker T?
Against Booker T, I'll say a B-. I got room to improve.
So you're a safety, correct?
Yes, sir.
What when you say you got room to improve, what would you like to be better at?
Keeping my eyes off the quarterback while we in man and just guarding people.
And would you say you're stronger, faster now than you were a year ago?
Yes, sir. I gained some weight. Now I'm just getting stronger in the weight room.
Okay, and you're a three-sport guy, basketball, and you do long jump and track, is that right?
Yes, sir, and high jump.
High jump. So you got a lot going on to keep you athletic here. And, sorry, I didn't have anything right down. One more time, was it Walker, your last name? Braylon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Braylon. And what year are you again?
Senior.
Senior. And what have you been focusing on as a wide receiver cornerback? Like, what are some things you've been working on?
Really just trying to get that connection with the quarterback. He knew, he young coming in, so all the receivers really just been trying to get a connection with him. And that's corner, just trying to go out there, be up there with the other corners and play my heart out with them.
Let's talk about your quarterback, because I was very impressed with him. I thought he made some big-time throws on third down, throwing the ball down the field, not always way deep, but the 10, 15-yard patterns. How do you see Cash developing?
When he first came in, he seemed a little immature, but now that he getting here and we really, being a teammate towards him, we telling him, you got to mature, you the quarterback, you the leader of the team, you the quarterback, you control all of it. And so, he taking that role really pretty good, and so we love to have him as a quarterback here.
As a wide receiver, do you have to sometimes remind him you're open?
Yeah, just a couple times.
Okay. I mean, but the tough thing is, and it's got to be nice, but also kind of a challenge for you, is he's got other good options. I mean, you got a stable of wide receivers. How deep is this wide receiver core of your teams?
I think it's one of the best receiver cores we had at Dale City. If I'm being honest, we all love to get the ball, but we don't never complain of who get the most touches. If one guy gets it more than the other, we go over there, we congratulate them and let them know that good job.
Yeah, I think K.D. Palmer was the one who was really benefiting that night. Coach, what do you see when you're a defensive coordinator and you're practicing against Cash? What do you see as far as his development goes?
Cash has really grown. I think coming into it from Tuttle, of course, the way we practice, the way we get out there was a little different than probably 85-90% of the state. So Cash coming in, I think coming on early, he tried to force some things and didn't realize that on both sides of the ball you're going against talent. Yeah, we got a stable of wide receivers. We got probably 7 or 8 that can go.
Mm-hmm.
But the 4 or 5 that are not starting offensively are probably playing corner.
Right.
So the throws that he make on Friday nights, I think it's easier for him because he's able to see the adversity Monday through Thursday. So him growing and understanding the woes of the quarterback position, Coach Jones is right hand with him with it, and the biggest thing he's grown into me is being coachable and understanding that, seeing it from a perspective. Yeah, he got a good group of wide receivers. His growth to me is just based off of understanding and slowing the game down for him and realizing it's harder Monday through Thursday majority of the time than it will be on Friday night.
Deshaun, how did you handle the Memorial game? Because obviously you're at home, and to lose like that, that's not common. It's been a few years since that happened. It was actually against Booker T 3 years ago. And what was that transition like that week of practice for you? Was it just something you wanted to forget about, or did you try to keep it with you to motivate you?
I wanted to keep it with us to motivate us because we can see that we can be beat, and we just got to go out there every day and give it our all.
All right. And what was that like against Edmond Memorial? They had some beasts out there. I don't know if that tight end who scored that first touchdown. Was that I don't know if you had to tackle him much, but what was that like?
Yeah, they were very big.
Yeah,
you could tell they was in 6'1".
Right. But you learned from that experience. It was still a good experience for you guys.
Yes, sir.
It won't hurt you in district play, of course. All right, and Braylon, how much do you usually play on defense?
I play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Friday when we play Edmond Memorial, I got in there quite a bit.
Okay, and then against Booker T, maybe not quite as much, or?
Yeah, I only play a little bit on there.
Okay, so what's that like, though? You're So your main focus is receiver then.
Yes, sir.
And then, occasionally you're going to spell some guys to keep them fresh on defense. Do you have to kind of change your mentality any?
Yeah, I mean, when I go in there, it's nothing really new. When I go in there and practice against our starting receivers, they all really good. So when it's game time, it's not too nerve-wracking to go out there and guard them guys.
Deshaun, tell me about what practice is like for you, because if you're anything like your brother, you're probably so high energy, you almost have to hit players, right? I mean, how much of practice do you get to is full contact for you throughout the week?
Practice it'd be rougher than the game sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the practices be harder than the games. We just out there just hitting people.
I know your safety, but do you two ever line up against each other?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll be clamping them.
Any success stories for either one of you against the other?
Yeah, when we go out there, we compete.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever get that ball. And we might brag on each other a little bit, but at the end of the day, we teammates, so it's just competition out there.
Of course. And, Coach, with this week being a bye week, does that change? Did that change any how you practice? Were you able to go full contact more? Or what's normal for you guys with that?
It didn't change anything. We're pretty much full contact Monday through Wednesday.
Okay.
It's a regimen we put in place. This will be year 3, so we don't want to change that concept. We're physical 3 days a week, and then Thursday we kind of come off the gas. So this week we're mindful of it. Sometimes we stay high, just get a good thud section. Sometimes we're full tilt, take them to the ground. So this week just allows us to kind of slow the process down and maybe horn in on some more individual and focusing on more technique as we prepare for Midwest City. But the physicality, the tempo, the energy is still the same as if we're playing Friday night.
So do the players and coaches get a day off Friday, or you're going to have work?
It's to be determined right now.
To be determined.
Yeah.
Depends on how practices go between now and then.
Exactly.
A couple of them.
The goal is to give it off, but it's depending on how the next couple of days go.
Well, as you may have heard, Midwest City was supposed to have a bye week as well, at least at one point. They were actually supposed to play Booker T originally, like you guys did, and that changed, and now they're going to have a game supposed to be Friday away. Now it's Thursday at home. Will you guys be sending anyone there to check them out?
I'll be in attendance,
Okay.
When you get a chance to put your eyes on the opponent versus watching film, it's always a little bit better. Film doesn't always dictate the true speed and true physicality that you'll see in person. So, I don't got nothing else to do Thursday night, so I'll go check it out.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for you just to make sure you got a good seat.
Gotcha.
Okay. Guys, what do you think? What's your plan this weekend without a game? And you can start with Thursday. I don't know, maybe you want to go to that game and Midwest City's playing or not, but maybe you want other stuff to do. What's your plan for this week now that you get the week off?
It's still full go at practice.
Yeah.
We already game planning for Midwest City, and we ready. I feel like we ready for them, and if we keep working hard, we should come out there with the dub.
Deshaun, what about you? You got any plans for Friday night that you can tell us, or maybe not? Maybe you can't tell us. I don't know.
Thursday, I was going to go to the game, the Midwest City game.
Okay.
Friday, probably hit up the fair.
Fair? Yeah, it's a good idea. Coach, what about you? Any Friday night plans?
Nah, man, it's work for me. When I ain't working, I'm working. So.
Well, the thing is, you guys are in an East Side district again. You kind of switched places with Bishop Kelly. I was surprised about that. So it's harder to scout those teams when you're an hour and a half away. But I don't know if you're starting to think about, like Collinsville or some teams like that. Any?
Jones does a pretty good job of jumping the gun on that for us, so we don't have to worry about it as a full staff. Usually by the time he sends it to us or sends it to me, he's already had it for a few days to get his eyes on it. So Collinsville been that first district game. We're not going to jump 3 weeks ahead, of course, but we'll put eyes on it probably late next week as we get a full in-depth game plan for Midwest City. But we'll focus more on them probably true Saturday morning after the Midwest City game. Then once we get in the district, the East Side is a lot of Tulsa schools, so I mean, it's just kind of one of those deals that we got to prepare to do what we do well. Like I said, we can't drive 30 minutes to watch them. It would have been an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute drive. So we just focus on doing what we do defensively and offensively, and just let the guys know as long as we go out and play Dale City football in the right way, then the chips typically lay in our manner. So,
absolutely. So, last question for you, gentlemen. I'll start with the players. Who is your pick to win the Super Bowl?
My Buccaneers.
Oh, Baker Mayfield, huh?
Yep.
I got Ravens.
Okay, they'll pick up from that Week 1 loss. You know, they'll be fine.
Man, you know, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the boys, but as a realistic football fan, I don't know if nobody can beat the Chiefs. Mahomes got too many weapons. I mean, it's scary over there. I'm a Cowboys fan, but Kansas City is.
It does seem unfair that they had Xavier Worthy in the last pick of the first round.
And Antonio Brown still waiting to come out, or Hollywood Brown, should I say, waiting to come off the injury list. So.
Yeah, not Antonio Brown. That's his cousin.
Yeah, the Hollywood Brown will be coming for them, and that's just, it's scary in Kansas City. So,
all right. Well, what about Del City, guys? No games this week, but a week from Friday they will be playing at Midwest City, and of course we'll have 2 broadcasts for you. So for the Del City fans, once again you'll have Captain Kilty and Colton Fleetwood on the mics for that game, and we'll hope to talk to some different Del City people next week, as nothing will change for them. They'll be still looking for that one more game in non-district play, non-football district play, before district play gets going, and they will be pushing for another prime playoff seed, home playoff games, and maybe another appearance in the state championship game. Coach, players, Deshaun, thank you very much. And one more time, your name?
Braylon Walker.
Braylon. Okay, Braylon, I'm sorry. Thank you, guys. Coach Kelly, once again, thank you for coming on here, and we look forward to covering you guys throughout the season.
Appreciate it.
All right, Crowlbrook football coming up here after this. You are watching the Mid-Dale Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back.
Chicken strips. Chicken strips. Chicken strips.
Ranch, ranch, ranch. Ranch. Buffalo. Buffalo. Ranch. Monterey Jack cheese.
The Whataburger Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich. A beautiful masterpiece.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
call Rob and Will.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
State Representative Max Wolfley.
As a longtime Mid-Dell teacher, coach, and parent, I first ran for the legislature to ensure taxpayer dollars appropriated for education actually made it all the way to the classroom. That concern hasn't changed and seems even more important today. Thank you for giving me the privilege of serving the people of our district.
Max Wolfley, looking out for educators, seniors, veterans, and all of us. Recorded in our kitchen after midnight. Can you tell?
Whataburger now has new premium coffee. That means a brand new taste with new flavors. And it's coming in hot and iced cold. New hot and iced coffee from Whataburger, just like you like it. For the first time ever, Whataburger has iced coffee. So hey, get vanilla iced coffee with breakfast, caramel iced coffee with a snack. And for dinner, how about mocha iced coffee? Or just get plain. Nothing wrong with a classic. New iced coffee from Whataburger, just like you like it.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
call Rob and Will.
Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back.
Chicken strips. Chicken strips. Chicken strips.
Ranch, ranch, ranch. Ranch. Buffalo. Buffalo. Ranch. Monterey Jack cheese.
The Whataburger Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich. A beautiful masterpiece.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
State Representative Max Wolfley.
As a longtime Mid-Dell teacher, coach, and parent, I first ran for the legislature to ensure taxpayer dollars appropriated for education actually made it all the way to the classroom. That concern hasn't changed and seems even more important today. Thank you for giving me the privilege of serving the people of our district.
Max Wolfley, looking out for educators, seniors, veterans, and all of us. Recorded in our kitchen after midnight. Can you tell?
And welcome back to the Mid-Dell Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Mike Dunn is in his fourth season as the Carl Albert head coach. He was not able to make it tonight, which will be normal for him and his schedule. Hopefully we'll talk to some of his assistants live throughout the season, and we'll be able to give really good coverage to Carl Albert football as they had an impressive win against Midwest City this past Friday, 49-0. I was able to talk with Coach Dunn a couple hours ago, and here's the interview I had with him talking about his team.
Okay, Coach Dunn, glad to finally talk to you about this upcoming season. One game in, very impressive performance by your team. Was there anything you were pleasantly surprised with as far as how well your team played?
Yeah, well, first game, you always kind of worry, especially playing a team that's already played a game. And I think we avoided a lot of those maybe first game nerves or first game jitters where you make mistakes that are not really mistakes that you normally make, and so I think we avoided a lot of that stuff. We had some busts, but all in all, I felt like our kids played really hard. I felt like we played with a lot of effort, and our young guys that we have playing, I felt like they really, as the game went on, they got better and better and better. I thought in the second half, a lot of our young offensive linemen and even our young defensive linemen, as they settled in, they continued to play better. And I felt like, the more and more that they leaned on people and their effort, I think it started some of those runs that in the first half were going for 6 or 7 yards. They started busting for a little bit longer, and then defensively, I think we started making a few more plays in the backfield. And those are things we feel like our defensive line going to be really active and be able to do some of that stuff. And so, all in all, I was pretty pleased with our effort.
Yeah, you mentioned how your players got better throughout the game on the O-line, and to me, it all seemed to change on the muffed punt. Prior to that, you had punted, and you were punted a couple other times, and the run game wasn't dominant. And then you recover that fumble, and then it's like something clicked. Your run game was great. Was there something in particular that started on that drive around midfield that got you guys going?
No, I don't know. I think it really came more with just the game speed of it. I mean, when Midwest City, and they have a great, I feel like their defense is going to be really, really good this year. There was just a few little things that broke down for them the other night, but I feel like they're going to continue to get better and better, and they've got a good group over there. Their defensive line is very active. I mean, I think that was more playing against a really good defense that was slowing us down early on. I felt like our young guys, kind of like what I said earlier, the more they got into the groove and the more they got that look and they got used to the speed of a Friday night, especially against an opponent like that, I just felt like they started to execute a little bit better. We started to block things a little bit cleaner, and I think there might have been maybe a little bit of panic after that for the Bombers because they were rolling. I mean, that you could tell that they were excited. They were jazzed up, and then that thing kind of flattened them out a little bit. I think they lost some wind in their sails on that one, and then we scored. But, I feel like really more than anything, I think Midwest City did a great job with, their coaches always do a good job, and their kids always play hard, and they always play fast, and they're always physical. And I think that was more of a product than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And then your quarterback situation, it was interesting how you would sub in and out with Devin Woodring and Daniel Newton. And I couldn't really get what the pattern was, if there even was one, except I think you would bring in Newton when you were going with a heavy package, maybe. So
that's the only one that he's the clear-cut, where there's a clear-cut guy like in a personnel grouping. Everything else, those guys, I mean, we feel comfortable with him doing both, running, throwing, spread, tight end. It really doesn't matter to us.
So what's the quarterback situation going forward? Do you expect to do more of the same for right now?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna continue to let both of those guys roll, and we're not in any kind of hurry to play one or the other. And I mean, really, we feel like both of them bring something different to the table, and both of them are very good at and very skilled at different things. But both of them can throw the ball, both of them can run the ball. And so I think that's tough. You don't really know. A lot of times when you got that kind of system, there's one's a clear-cut runner, one's a clear-cut thrower. The other night, I think Devin threw the ball more, but just because RPO stuff, I think that he just got different looks. But I think he had 10 passes to Daniel's 6, so it's not like it was a crazy number there. And running-wise, that wasn't even that big of a split, even though Daniel is our heavy quarterback. So, it's one of those things like, it's kind of pick your poison, and we feel like we got two guys that are really talented.
Absolutely. And then it is talked about that you have a newer offensive line, and they obviously stepped up. They also have a pretty new defensive line, correct? And how do you feel like they did up?
I thought those guys played really pretty good. I think we held those guys to 96 total yards. I think we were very disruptive. Our front four last year, we had bigger bodies that were more gap control and weren't going to be guys that were going to probably make just a whole lot of plays in the backfield, but they were going to do a great job of keeping their gaps and just staying on the line of scrimmage. And I think we've got guys now that are a little more active, probably a little more explosive. And so I think you're going to see maybe a product of, every once in a while those guys are going to make some mistakes and then be able to make up for it with how hard they play. And that's all four of those guys that started, and then we've got a rotation of 3 or 4 more guys that didn't get to play as much the other night, but we're about 7 or 8 deep up front on the defensive line, and we feel like whoever it's in there, it's kind of a different mold this year, a little more athletic, probably a little bit quicker. I think our pass rush is going to be a little bit better out of a 4-man front and, those kinds of things. But no, I was pleased with their effort.
Okay, back to offense. Another guy that got better was your running back, LT Simmons. And it's interesting, he didn't come out at running back, even though you alternated quarterbacks. So obviously liked what you had with him, and it allowed Caden Davis to be fresh at the linebacker position. Well, what can you say about LT?
Oh, LT is going to get better and better and better. I think you could see that the other night. I heard one of our coaches today at practice. He said, as long as he's got 16 inches, if he's got a hole 16 inches, he's going to go make it happen. And today there was just a little bitty gap, and I'm standing, 40 yards behind the defense, and you can't even really see him back there. And he just all of a sudden kind of pops out and goes, and he's really, the other night, I think he was very patient. He let blocks set up for him on some of our gap scheme stuff. And he made the right reads when we were running our zone stuff. And, he just kind of pounded away. He ran physical at times. He ran around people at times. And then, that last run that he had where he broke off the long touchdown or the longer touchdown. I mean, he looked really good, looked really fast on that. I think he's as good as anybody in the state of Oklahoma, and I think he'll just get better and better and better. And I think he had 17 carries the other night. I think he could be a guy that could carry it 25, 30 times a game. Very, very easy. So he had a really good game for us.
Now, you're without Marcus James for the time being, and what does that do to your linebacking core? It doesn't seem like that it affected them at all.
Well, so we just made some moves up front. Caden, obviously, at Mike linebacker is our stalwart in there. He's been the guy for a few years now on our defense, and he had a great game the other night. And then Carl Vion Young has been playing the Sam nickel for us, and Carl Vion, we say it all the time. If he's playing well out there at his position, it's just going to make our defense that much better. And he's played really, really well in the scrimmages and then in that first game. And Jackson Vineyard stepped up at the will linebacker. Jackson was playing Sam nickel for us, and he was probably our next best linebacker. And so when Marcus went down, we moved Jackson over there to the will, and Jackson, he stepped up and he's doing really good things for us. So then we got some young guys that played as well. Bo Davis is a sophomore that has a bright future for us. He's going to be a really good football player. He played a lot on offense the other night, played a little bit of defense at the end. And then Darian Thomas is our other will linebacker. And, we're not afraid to put either one of those guys in if something happened with those starters and we had to go with those guys, we'd be just fine. We feel really good about those guys too, And then Cooper Brackage, he didn't get to play as much the other night because he was coming off of being banged up. And so I think he got a couple practices in before Midwest City, but Cooper played a little bit of linebacker for us, and he's also a guy that we feel really good about at linebacker.
Okay, I want to talk about Lawton Ike in a moment, but first, since I last talked to you, they had that court ruling in April where they changed around your schedule. I think I'd heard that you guys were going to have a week 10 bye. You're going to be with you're still going to have Guyman in your district, and so things kind of flipped. And I don't know if you had a week 0 game originally scheduled or what. But what do you think about the change and how that affected your schedule and your district play?
Well, I like that it's different. We got new teams in our district. That was something that I think everybody's excited about. We've been playing the same teams forever, it seems like, around here, and some of our coaches that have been here a lot longer, I think they were excited about new opponents, and so I was happy with the way it worked out. We still got a couple of our rivalry games in there, but then we've got a couple of our old rivalries that are now back in. Like El Reno, that used to be a real big rivalry back when I was playing in high school, and now having them back, that's another strong team. And Guthrie still stays in, and when I was in high school, we played Altus in a state championship my senior year, and having them in there, just new opponents, I think it kind of freshens things up for us, and it's new game plans, new schemes, and everybody doesn't know each other, just like the way it's been. And so I like that part of it. We had a non-district set up with a 0-week game, but it wasn't even really a set game. I don't even think it was going to make anyways, and so it kind of worked out for us to where the 3 that we knew were pretty solid, we were able to keep those games, and it was actually it was fairly easy once that all went down and we got our districts and we all met out there in Yukon. It all kind of went down pretty easy, and we kind of went into that thing, halfway knowing what was probably going to happen, and there were no surprises on that day, so I think that was good.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see you guys against Lawton High. That's a new team that's in your district play. That will be interesting. And then Noble, I can say from observing Noble the last couple of years, they're usually a dangerous team at home. So,
oh man, yeah. Hey, Coach George does as good of a job as anybody year in, year out. There's been times where I feel like he's been really outgunned personnel wise, and they go find a way. It seems like every year. So you're right. That's a tough place to play. And we're playing there on a Thursday night because it's OU Texas week, and they always will play their if it's OU Texas, they're playing at home. Then they'll ask if you're okay with playing on Thursday, which we would do anything for those guys because they do that for us too. So that was no problem.
That's great. All right, Lawton Eisenhower.
Yeah.
For years, you guys have been in the same district, so you're very familiar with them. I don't know when the last time you weren't in the same district was, but I know it's been a while.
Right.
What led to you keeping them on your schedule? And they did beat Lawton High earlier this season. So what do you think about this year's Eagles?
Yeah, so Lawton High. So Coach Harris, he's not afraid to go schedule good teams. He when it looked like they were, he was. I know he was talking to Midwest City, Del City, us, even some 6A, some bigger schools, big names too, and I don't think he was afraid to play anybody. The way it worked out is we had a game set at this time, and then when Lawton ends up going down, and now Lawton Mac and Lawton High are down, they had to drop some non-district games, and so the way it worked out, once they set their games, our game just fit their schedule, and so he was able to keep us. But yeah, Coach Harris, I can't remember if we kind of mutually had talked about that or how that really worked out, but we had talked knowing that they were going to go up. We had talked long time ago about, hey, let's keep that game going. We've been playing so long, and he kind of has the same thought process as we do. And hey, play good people early on. Play games that matter, and play games that are going to get you ready for a good district run, and then for a playoff run. And so he had no problem picking us up. But they're doing a good job. Offensively, I would say this is the best they've been since I've been coaching against them. We coached against them over at when I was at Del City. We played them in non-district as well, and they're doing a great job. Their offensive line looks different than they've looked in the past. They've got a really good receiver in number 10, Sheridan, I think is his last name, and then obviously the running back number 1 that's committed, I believe, to Missouri. He's a stud. They've got I think the quarterback, his name is Charlie Trotsky. He's been a 3-year starter now, I believe, and great football pedigree. His brother started there as a quarterback as well. And so, I think Coach Harris and his guys, they're doing a phenomenal job, and they're going to be ready to play. They're ready to play in those last 2 games. They played Lawton Mac tough. It just kind of snowballed on them at the end, but Lawton High, that was a back and forth, and they won in the end when they needed to. And so I've been really impressed with them on film so far.
Well, I'd love to watch it, but as you may have heard, they threw a Midwest City game out there on a Thursday as well, and they're playing PC West. So, but I'll watch the playback later. I can't wait to do that. All right, Coach, and I can't wait to follow your team throughout the season. So thanks again for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
All right, I want to thank Coach Dunn for his time. Again, Carl Albert, like Midwest City, will be playing on Thursday. They will be playing at Lawton Eisenhower, and that game will also be on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Kirk Norman and Mike Goff will have that game for you. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk Del City volleyball right here on the Mid-Del Coach Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Whataburger's Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich is back.
Chicken strips. Chicken strips. Chicken strips.
Ranch, ranch, ranch. Ranch. Buffalo. Buffalo. Ranch. Monterey Jack cheese.
The Whataburger Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich. A beautiful masterpiece.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
And welcome back to the Mid-Del Coaches Show right here at the Bricktown Brewery, Midwest City, and of course brought to you by Toonie Buys Houses. And for the third straight week, we get to talk volleyball thanks to one of the teams having a Tuesday off. This time it's Del City volleyball with Coach Audrey Sanford. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, Coach. And this is your first year as the head volleyball coach?
Yes, first year. Yeah.
But you've been at Del City for a bit because I know you were coach. You also coach track.
Tennis.
Tennis. Okay,
Yeah.
I knew it was a spring sport.
Yeah.
I was making a wild guess.
I assistant coached last year for volleyball, and then this year head coach, first year.
Okay, and so obviously there was a coaching departure that led to you getting the job. But what? How long have you been coaching volleyball in any capacity?
Oh, any capacity. I coached rec back in college. As part of my major, coached through the Y, different recreational leagues, off and on for 22 years, but not high school until last year.
Okay, and what was that like then, being part of a high school volleyball team and then becoming the head person just, within a year of that?
Yeah, so I got to had assistant coach under Coach Healy last year, and she was incredible. She really let me take on JV and really lead those girls, and so just under her tutorship and leadership, I learned so much in just that short time. And then she still mentors me through this season.
Okay,
whenever we run into troubles or anything, I reach out to her and constantly researching and looking things up. And, I want to do good for these girls. I want to be there for them and lift them up. And so I just do everything I can on the back end to make sure that I'm doing my best for them.
And so is Coach Healy, is she still coaching? Or
No, she got married and she moved, and so she coaches club. She still coaches club, but she's not coaching for high school right now.
Okay. And so when you become the head coach, is there a couple things you're like, hey, I want to do a little differently? Did you try to bring something different, even though, you have all the respect in the world for Coach Healy?
Yeah, so, our styles are different, obviously. Her background in volleyball is so much more extensive than mine. She played for college, and she's been coaching club, and so she's very technical, and she's very strong on that side, and so I've had to compensate on that side of things. But my strengths come in, their mental game and their mental capacity to be able to stay in the game and to stay up and to give their all 100% all the time. So we just have different strengths, I guess. And so, there's definitely some natural differences because of that.
So things started for you, again, as the head coach, I don't know, was it the spring or summer? When did you start really running practices?
So I started with tryouts in the spring,
Okay.
and then we started practices in July.
All right. And did you have any fun trips over the summer? I know.
Like for the team?
Yes.
No, we didn't have any outings or anything like that over the summer. We did have a camp for the first time. We had a youth camp, and the girls all pitched in and volunteered and made that possible for the first time this year. So that was really exciting. We had about 40 kids come out to our camp. So
Awesome. All right, who do we have with us here?
we have Shelby Thornton and Paris Bazil.
Okay, I know Shelby. And Paris, hello. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay, Paris, are you a senior?
Yes,
as well?
I am.
Just like Shelby is? Okay. All right, and what's the transition been like for you then? Becoming a senior, and then obviously you are familiar with Coach Sanford, with her as assistant coach, but now as new head coach, has that been a bit of a transition, or what do you think?
It's not really that tough of a transition, I believe, because we got, as you know, we got introduced with her last year, and she's just a really great coach to me, really good at keeping up the energy, and I quite like that she brings that to the table. So all the practices and whatnot, yeah, she does come down a little strict sometimes, but it's really, really fun and, makes the sport better for us all as a team.
All right. Shelby, what about you? I mean, what's been different for you this year, if anything?
Obviously, it was like, a big change for all of us. Like, we had freshmen coming in, and it was a whole bunch of them at trials, like over 50 of them. So we tried to help Coach Sanford, pitch in, and we did everything that we could at, being the seniors and the leaders of the team that played last year. It was really a big change because, Coach Healy left, but I feel like Coach Sanford, she didn't let that get to her. And when we saw that she was ready to take on that role, we're like, okay, we're ready to play for her as, her players. So it was hard, but, we're doing it, and it's going, so.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Coach Healy came in on Shelby's freshman year. And
Okay.
so Shelby has had Healy since the beginning. So her senior year going to a new coach, that's pretty drastic. Healy recruited her to play volleyball. And so they were really tight and really close. And so I have so much respect for Healy and the shoes I'm trying to fill and with these girls. And they seriously, these are my captains, and they make it possible. They step up and they lead the team and the girls, and just all the seniors do. They just really step up and make it happen for the rest of the team. And this is our first year to have a freshman team, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
good.
just having so many underclassmen out on the court and them just being there to guide them and mentor them and lead them has been, it's a game changer. I couldn't do it without these girls.
All right, so Shelby, walk us through that recruitment there. So you're, a freshman in high school or just starting your freshman year, and the volleyball coach says, why don't you come out? Is that basically what happened, or?
It basically was. I played my 7th grade year, and then, COVID happened my 8th grade year, so I didn't play volleyball. So I was at summer workouts, and volleyball girls are supposed to go to summer workouts. So when she saw me, she was like, hey, we already had tryouts and stuff, but maybe come to practice and see how you like it. And just, I was there from then on because, I found the love for volleyball. She got me into club volleyball my sophomore year going into my junior year. So that was a big change. And, I appreciate her because that made me a better player at the end of the day. So.
And Paris, how long have you been playing volleyball?
I've been playing volleyball since 8th grade year, yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of a new sport for you not too long ago. What made you interested in volleyball?
Well, I haven't really been a sporty kid, so I can't say I was oh yeah, athletic from the jump. But I was thinking, maybe I need to try something different, especially if I'm going into high school, switch things up, get a good, group of people, keep me on track too, work together hand in hand. And I kind of like the team and the friendship that came along with it. And I moved up here sophomore year from Louisiana, so it was a great experience there, and coming in here and experiencing that same sisterhood bond, and I was I got to keep it.
Okay, that's great to hear. Do you play any other sports?
Yeah, I play tennis.
Okay, tennis.
Yeah.
All right, that requires a lot of good footwork as well. And Shelby, we know what other sport you play.
Yeah.
Now, do you play anything in the spring though?
No, I don't think I did.
You got your 2.
Yeah.
So, of course, anyone who's watched you play basketball knows you're pretty tall, 6'2" about.
Yeah.
And I can tell there's a lot of times you enjoy being that tall on the court. Is it the same with volleyball? Do you enjoy being 6'2" out there by the net?
Definitely. I mean, I'm already up there, so like.
Yeah.
But there are girls that aren't my height that are just as athletic as me. So like me, I probably wouldn't have to jump as high as other girls would. But like, say it's like a 5'8" girl, she's jumping the same as me, like, because she's trying to get a block up on me just like I'm trying to get a block up on her. Cause she's trying to combat my height, really. So.
And how you got your share of blocks though this season?
I sure have, yes.
Okay. I mean, she both sports she gets her blocks.
Definitely.
So, remind me when it comes to this volleyball verbiage. I'm not always don't always keep track of it. What is your official position then?
My official position is middle blocker / hitter.
Around.
Yeah, all.
Okay.
I play all around. I play front and back row. So.
Then, do you spike the ball much too?
Yes, as much as my setter says me, that's what I do. Yes.
Okay, Paris, what about you?
I play outside hitter and setter sometimes.
Okay, so you set it up for Shelby or someone.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Outside set. All right, I'll try to keep that in mind. Coach, what have been some highlights this season? Some games where you really liked how the team played.
Yeah, I think Lawton for sure was an exciting game for us. We never give up. We never quit. We won the first set, lost the second two, and that can kind of be a blow to your day, to your night, and it can be tough to come back because you got to win the next two. And so they rallied and they kept their heads in the game and they kept their cool and they rallied back, and it was just fun to watch them because no matter if they were behind or ahead or whatever, like they're just so bonded and they just played so well together and they just kept each other up, and that was just a really fun game to watch, and the hits that they were getting, and gosh, it was just really exciting to see all of that come to light. So. Yeah.
All right. Lawton, you girls have a highlight like that or same game or what?
For sure. I had one thing that I really did enjoy. I don't know if it was the Douglas game, but we got to run a solid one attack where it's like a quick set and a nice spike down, and it was like really pretty. I really loved that.
Yeah,
it was highlight one day.
It was great.
That's a good highlight.
Mine would probably be when so we were receiving the other team's serve, and one of our girls, she kind of shanked it a little bit, and our setter, she had to dive to try to get it, and it was just coming at my face so fast, and I put my hand up, and it hit like the bottom of my hand, and it went over, and we gained the point because the other girl on the other side was trying to block it, and it just went into the net because she didn't know if it was going over or if it was, like a happy birthday for her, like her to send the ball right back over. So that was like a good highlight from us. I think that was who did we play?
I think that might have been Pathways.
Pathways, yes. We ended up taking the L, but that was just a good highlight from that game.
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, they're
brand new.
Yeah,
Charles,
brand new.
Charles, okay.
Yeah.
But speaking of your opponent's coach, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, last year Del City was 4A.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what class are you in this year?
5A. We're
5A.
back up to 5A. Yeah.
Okay, so what are some important games you have coming up, like senior night at some point, and do you have another good rivalry or two coming up at home?
Yeah, so we have Guthrie on Thursday. That's always a good game to come out and see. Excited for that. And then, Carl Albert, Midwest City, those are always big rivals, of course. Those are we always bring our A game on those nights, and those are fun. Senior night is going to be October 3rd. Against Seminole. We played them at Seminole already and won, and so we're excited to have hosting them on October 3rd for our seniors.
Yep.
So.
All right, anything you girls are looking forward to? Any matchups coming up?
I'm really looking forward to, to be honest, senior night, gone ahead, and it's like a friendly goodbye from everybody, kind of shaking up, like, oh my God, this is like how you have your first last day is what it felt like, because I've been watching all the other seniors get pushed out the way. It's kind of weird, like, oh my God, it's my turn, So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Mine would definitely be, Midwest City, because last year, I think we're the Pink Out game, or we were their senior night last year. So, I mean, not any, disrespect, but, at the same time, I can't wait to have them at our place and show them how we play at our place.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Midwest City and, of course, senior night, we just got our senior banners today. We're excited to put those up tomorrow. So, just to be playing on senior night and then, go take a picture next to our banner, dang, this is,
It's getting real.
It's getting real. Yeah.
Yeah, then you'll gun for them in basketball.
Yeah.
They're due for a loss to you guys, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and that's important.
For sure.
Well, I noticed you wear a North Texas shirt. I don't know, are you just a fan of North Texas, or do you have another interest there?
I recently just committed there for basketball. Yeah.
Okay.
I committed
good.
there.
I was about to ask about that.
Yeah.
Good. Well, that's exciting to hear. So, when you move on and focus on basketball, well, first of all, what's that like in the summer? I mean, as far as what sports you're able to work on, are you able to work on volleyball as well?
I did. So, I did play AAU this summer. That's how, I got my offers that I did over the summer. Mm-hmm. And when I was away, I had to miss practice sometimes because I was traveling, obviously, for basketball. And Coach Sanford, she understood that, and sometimes I couldn't make my workouts in the summer because Summer Pride is required for volleyball. I couldn't make it to that because I'm going up and down the road because the team I played for was in Texas. It was based in Texas, so I had to go back and forth for practices. So when I just came back from my tournament, sometimes I would just be getting off the road and I had to go to volleyball practice. And, it wasn't like, I have to go to volleyball practice. It was, I get to see my friends. I get to work harder on my craft in volleyball like I do in basketball. So it was hard, but at the end of the day, I appreciate having that time to get better.
Okay, Paris, as a senior, have you thought any about college or what you want to
For sure. I haven't received any offers, like Shelby.
That's okay.
But I do plan on going to a medically based college to pursue immunology. That's my little thing right there.
I like that. That sounds like a great plan. And Coach, so again, with volleyball 5A, whatever class, your playoffs will be determined by rankings. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you feel about I don't know what a good postseason question is, but what are some things you're looking forward to for the playoffs when it comes to that?
Just getting to see who we're going to be against in regionals, and then putting in the work, watching the film, making sure we're ready for that team. I'm looking forward to just seeing the girls take it up to the next level. You know how it is in any kind of playoff. You play at this level all season, and then whenever it comes to regionals, you really got to bring it up a notch. And I know these girls have it in them, and I know that they will. Yeah.
Sure,
yeah.
And I know what I was trying to say is, was there a particular goal you have as far as seeding goes, or even worried about that?
Not too worried about that. I think our goal is to get past the first round of regionals.
Yeah.
That's our focus right now. So we didn't do that last year, and that's our goal this year is to get that first round win.
And you mentioned you also coach tennis?
Yes.
Okay, so what's Paris like? And
She's
try to make that connection.
She's awesome. I recruited her last year from volleyball to tennis. So tennis last year was her first year to play, but she was our singles one. And so she's awesome. She's a natural athlete. She said she wasn't, but she's a natural athlete. She really is. She picks up anything that you throw at her. You could give her any sport, and she would come out and give it her all and practice at home for hours and hours. That's just who she is.
I like hearing that athletes excelling in more than one sport.
Yes. Oh, me too.
great.
Shelby talking about having to miss some volleyball. Multi-sport athletes that's where it's at. You need them to be playing all year. You need them to be staying in shape all year, and that's what she does. And so you can't punish that. You gotta work with that.
Awesome.
It makes them better.
Absolutely. All right. What's your next home game?
Guthrie on Thursday.
Okay, so in a couple nights.
Yeah.
All right, hey, be sure to go catch. They'll say, they don't have a football game this weekend, so make it your point to go watch them play Thursday when they take on Guthrie, which is they're good in all sorts of 5A sports. So that'll be a good matchup, I'm sure. And, of course, we will remind you, though, that there are the other two Mid-Delta schools are playing on Thursday. You can watch them on the Oklahoma Sports Network. So a lot going on Thursday. Lawton Eisenhower will host Carl Albert. Midwest City will host PC West. So those games, of course, will be on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All right, Coach, ladies, thank you very much. It was fun to talk to you. Hope you have a great season from here on out. All right, that'll do it for us. We appreciate your time. We look forward to coming back next week with another edition of the Mid-Del Coaches Show right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.